What's up, y'all? So I just got back from Feel Good Gaming's Challenger tournament, I think, and just got first place. So went back to back, won this Ultimate JD and got this mat. So here's the other mat. So there's like two of these now. But yeah, we actually went undefeated this time. Didn't lose a single round. Played a pretty solid deck with some very weird choices. Um, yeah, it went great. Um, It's 41 players, 6 rounds, cut the top 8. So I just went 9-0 the whole day. And yeah, got this. It's very nice JD. And also 50 credit, which I gave to a friend. So we're just going to go ahead and get into the deck. It's Machina Lightsworn, I guess. That's what people want to call it. It's only a few Lightsworns, but that's pretty standard for the most part. So 3 gear frame, obviously. 3 fortress, you can't play any less. 3 4, some people play 2, but this is actually the card you want to draw if you're like getting your engine going, if you're milling. If you mill a fortress at any time, this is like live. And if this was like fortress in hand, you would need another machine. Like if you just open gear frame with no machines, you actually can't summon fortress. So sometimes if I see that I have like Raico's hamsters with charge or whatever, or like ways to mill, I'll just go gear frame from this turn 1 and then try to mill a fortress later on. Because if I were to just get fortress, it would probably be dead anyway. So I'd rather just like have this. And late game, a top deck is obviously insane. That's it for the Machinas. No Peacekeeper. I don't think that's needed. 3 Caius. This card's just insane. If you protect a dude, Caius or back or Caius or flip or monster, it's usually just game and just gets rid of everything. So of course we're playing 3. Could never cut that down. And to help facilitate that, max out 3 hamster and 3 Raikou. Some people play like 2. I just don't get it. Like this you want to see this more than Caius, or sorry, you want to see this more than Raikou because you can summon Caius and you can keep your dude. Because if they just run over Raikou, you pop something, but like you don't have summon the tribute. So with this, even if they run over with Alias, you still get this. You pop something and then you summon Caius, and just you really just want to be milling a lot so you can get to your fortresses in grave and then use Pot of Avarice. And then we also played Lila because I played Charge, and this is a good utility. Helped me pop Future Fusion today, or like yesterday, but yeah, really good card. You can mill in the end phase, and if it lives, it just keeps milling, so it's a good card. And it's a level 4 with Plague Spreader. Card Trooper, insane, just mills, crashes with Alias, gets you a draw. Floats around and you can pitch it for a fortress, which is just crazy. I did that in the finals to go for game. Plague Spreader, it's a brick to draw obviously, but you can mill it randomly. It's just like really good. Sometimes drawing is not terrible if you have like a floating Caius and you can just like Synchron Stardust, which I did a lot. Gores, yeah, it's just Gores. Like the fact that you have Avarice, you can just reuse this is pretty insane. But yeah, it helps you tribute for Caius too. Really, really powerful. It happened in the one mirror match I played. So that was the monster count. I think I like that very much so. Heavy, MST, Charge, Brain. These are the limited one-offs for spells. No real room for deviating from that, I think. And then I played 2 Avarice. So obviously this is like the point of the deck, or not like the point, but like this is like one of the cornerstones. You want to resolve this, and I know like some people play 3, or most people play 3, I think. I just don't want to see like 2 in my opening hand, and I'd rather like top deck it later than like just open with it because it's not live turn 1. You could make it live like turns 2 or 3, but if you have like 2 in your hand, like it's gonna be very hard to resolve it, especially with the fact that you basically start the game with inherent -2 with these 2. If you draw 2, let's say you play 3, you draw 2, you have a -2 for like several turns, and your opponent can just like take advantage of that and kill you, unless you're like bluff setting this, which I actually did once against Lightsworn. But yeah, it's just a card that you always want to see, but you never want to see 2 of. Like maybe if the games go on really long, you can resolve 2, but like I think this was fine. I never wanted to see like a dead one in my hand like early on, so I just played 2, and it worked out. For traps, the broken one-offs, we're not cutting any of these because they do good things in Edison. Same thing with Bottomless. I know some people played one. They were on Iron Wall. I don't think Iron Wall does anything. It just this deck can handle like there's not really like one floodgate that screws you. Like you can say like Light Mirror is only like 4 lights. You can just system down, but like you can just win with just popping stuff with hamsters, Rykos, beating them down. There's just a lot of facets to the deck, so you don't really need Iron Wall to like stop something. You also you don't want to screw your own Kai'Sas over. And then for the other traps, this is where it gets a little weird. So this was my last 6 cards in my deck. So I know people usually play like 1 or 2. I like 3. You can do really cool tricks with Gear Frame. Again, I mentioned earlier, Gear Frame by itself without any of the machines is nothing. But if you have this in Gear Frame, you can set this whenever you want with more back row and not be afraid of heavy, because you can chain this on Gear Frame or chain this on any of their dudes if they heavy. So this card is very versatile. It just lets you restore tempo. If you go second, you can compulse their flip. If you have a flip, you think it's Ryko. Beats any synchro aside from Thought Ruler. Yeah, really good. Helps your Kai's dodge Bottomless. You can reuse Kai's again. Or just reuse your hamsters or Rykos after you flip them up. So it's really good. This card is obviously not great. So, I think is kind of accepted that this card's not like the best card ever. But the logic behind this was that I just didn't want to play anything else. I didn't think Deep Prison was good, because Deep Prison, you don't really care about like removing monsters like other than like very niche mashups, and I do side Deep Prison. Game 1, I'd rather have a card that's like more well-rounded all around that can always protect your valuable flips, because your flips are very, very valuable. Just like Chaos Turbo and Go, you need to protect your flips. You always protect your flips from their flips. Caius, Brio, which happened like a lot. So this card is just like always like is really strong against like the boss monsters like Brio, Dark Arm, Caius. And it's like it's like okay against like everything else. Obviously you can't target Alias, but against like everything else, it like does something usually. So I figured having one of the worst best card for this slot was better than having more situational things like Prison, which it's crazy that I'm saying Prison is situational, but for me, that's just really how I felt. And this card it performed fine. It was just okay all day, and that's all I need the deck to do. Or all I need this card to do is be okay. So as long as I can protect my flips and outgrind them in the long run. So that was good. The main deck, obviously, for the side deck. So we sided Prison. Prison obviously is insane against a lot of things. Like Changes doesn't do anything. It's like Blackwing and like Hero B, so this goes right in. And like GB is like really good too. Yeah, Deep Prison and Vayu too. Although Phoenix Chain is like, I think pretty decent against Vayu. One road for GB, Blackwing, Lightsworn, just things that have cards other than Heavy, Torrential, and Mirror Force that can pop more than 2 cards, because I'm not gonna side this in just randomly or main deck it. I think that's awful. 2 Dusts for Blackwings, things that can side Oppression. Lightsworn side Oppression for some reason. I had the Solemn, but like obviously I would not put this against Lightsworn, but like anything that can foreseeably side Oppression, which is really bad for you. I wouldn't just put this in against like random things. You can probably put like 1 in against Hero Beat, but it's not like a big deal. Just like I need to 1 for 1 all your back row. It's mostly just for the floodgates, which the deck just can't handle like Oppression. 3 Crow. Love this card. Gotta have the mismatching, of course. This card is just a star. I didn't want to main it, but it's just insane. Beats like Lightsworns. The mirror match. Yeah, anything Graveyard Line, Christia decks, you can just really like screw them over with this. And then 2 Dyna, very good against Frogs. If they just have like a floating swap rock, you just beat over the tree warning coming back, and just lets you restore tempo very, very quickly. Even if it gets killed by Regeki Break or something, the fact that they have to like use that on this and then you to keep the rest of your stuff is really good. And it buys you time sometimes to draw your rugs and Phoenix Chains. And then 3 Rug. Like going in, I was gonna be like, oh, I'm just gonna like swap out the three Phoenix Chains for this, against Frog, but no, I just kept in Phoenix Chain. This card is just like insane. Having this with Phoenix Chain, like their Kai's is not gonna resolve. They cannot win if they don't resolve Kai's. And then if you have like this for Miracle, it's just game. It's honestly just game. And then 2 Cyber Dragons. So mirror match, hero beat, GB. I don't put it in against like random things, or because like you can never like really like special this and like also make a machine push with Gear Frame or Fortress without having to make a Chimera Tech. So just for a few niche matchups. Extra deck was just a very standard. I actually played 15 this time. Stardust, Gotham's, which I made a few times, really good. Brio, Colossal, Arcanite. These are just for like Lila, Catastor, Dot Roar, Mistworm. It's just the standard stuff. I play 2 Chimera Techs because, in case they leave Cyber Dragon up, which did happen in the finals, but I wasn't able to Chimera Tech. I just went for game. Yeah, standard stuff. So that's pretty standard. So I guess we can go over the matchups. So it was 41 players. It was a little bit smaller than usual. I think last time was like 58, 59. So round 1, I played against Vayu. Game 1 was really long and grindy, and I probably threw near the end. I think it was like I was like really low, and I should have just made like Lila Armory Arm, but instead I made Colossal, and he Kai's the Colossal. So yeah, definitely threw near the end there, but was able to come back in game 2, and in game 3 I won in turns. So yeah, that was a bit of a scary one. And then round 2 was the Machina Mirror, which I just pushed hard, and he felt like he was a little bit newer to the deck. I did open pretty good game 1. Game 2, he Dust Shoe saw him Mirror Force and still committed Fortress and Kaiku into my Caius into Mirror Force, so like I won after that. Round 3 was Vayu. I just outgrinded him game 1, and then game 2 he like pitches for Greffer, and he has like another dart. He specials Dad, and he goes Dad target my Gear Frame, and I had a set Dust and a Compulse, so I chose to Compulse the Gear Frame so I can use it next turn with because I only had Fortress. And then he tried to pop again, banishing one of the value pieces for the Dust window, and I chained the Dust on his back row. So now he wasn't able to make a play, and I could just kill him next turn, take his go through his field. So I won that one 2-0. And then round 4 was Hero Beat. I actually played him in top 4 last tournament, I think. Game 1's outgrinded him, which the Hamsters, Raikos, etc. And then he had Future Fusion. I just Lilat it. Game 2, I had sided in 3 Crows, and I drew 2. It didn't do anything. It had like way too many targets, and I just couldn't stop his miracles. I was trying to hit a Hero Blast with it, but it didn't work out. Game 3 was he set 2, and I just went. I had heavy, and he probably just was like, okay, better have it. And then obviously, with that, you're usually in a pretty good spot. So I won that. And then round 5 was Lightsworn, very scary deck, very sacky. It was just pure Lightsworn, no Christias, and it was like the old build with like monster reincarnations. Game 1, I just like kept the stuff off the field with Compulse, so they couldn't get milling, and just like try to kill him ASAP before he could like pay for JD. Game 2 was a lot closer. He opened Lumina. I hand was unplayable. It was like Caius, Force, and like 3 good traps and like Avarice. So I just set Avarice, hoping he would Lumina back to Lila to try to pop it, which he didn't. He just kept attacking with Lumina for a few turns and just getting those mills. Eventually he milled a Wolf, and I was like, I gotta push. I think I drew him to Gear Frame finally, and I had all my traps set at that point. I went Gear Frame for the Fortress, pitched to try to special Fortress. He oppressions him, like, oh shit. So I saw him go down to like really low life, try to clear his board. He honests over, he keeps one of his monsters. Next turn I have to Mirror Force the Wolf, which is kind of annoying. But then I see, he's at this point he's already milled both JDs. I'm like, okay, I'm good. I still have Crow in case he has monster reincarnation. He draws a turn, goes recharge, Draws 2. I'm like, you have reincarnation? He does. And I crow the JD target. So we just went there. That was pretty cool. So yeah, round 6 was hero beat. Very grindy stuff. But yeah, just very grindy 3 games. Like, but the deck, just kind of outgrinds you if you play it correctly. So I was able to just very slowly just whittle down his resources and just win in game 3 there. And top 8 was Hero Frog. Phoenix Chain put in lots of work. Like, even if he bounced the Caius with Swap Frog, he still has to pitch a water and then lead the Swap Frog because he bounces the Caius, right? And then next turn, even if he Caius again, I've already, dealt my damage and made him use 2 cards just to get Caius back, and then I can deal with Caius. And that's basically how the 2 games went. It just, Fiendish and Rug just kept Caius off the field. Top 4 was Vayu. Game 1, I saw Open Dust shoot and just kind of went from there. Game 2, he had flips and I was just behind because he was setting his flip first. I didn't have any way to combat that. In game 3, I just sacked him really bad. I opened like Hamster, Solemn, Heavy, Dust shoot. I just saw his hand. It wasn't great. Sent back the only live card and just was able to Caius and just push for game. And then last round finals was Blackwing, which is very scary. They can open Sure Whirlwind, they kill you. Game 1, he goes first, Sure Whirlwind. I tried my best to fight back. Couldn't do it. Game 2, I have multiple Caiuses. I'm able to just Caius his monsters down while burning for 1,000 each time. So it's a lot of damage. 24 plus 1,000 burn. And I killed him pretty quickly there. Game 3, he goes. I see his hand. I didn't see his hand, but I saw it on stream. He had Cyber Dragon, Blizzard, and some traps. He chooses to set Icarus with nothing. I set Hamster, pass. He goes Special Sidra, attack the Hamster. I summon Raikou out, and then he just passes. And I look at my hand. It's like Gear Frame, Brain Control, Fortress, Card Trooper, and then I draw a Dust Tornado, and then I mill a second Fortress targeting the back row. So I'm like, I'm just gonna go for it. If they play Gores or whatever, they got me. So I went Gear Frame for force back to milled Fortress, pitch Card Trooper, summon, Brain Control the Sidra, and that's more than lethal. So we just put him on better habit for the last round, and we got there. So back to back, I guess. I mean, obviously you need luck to win at these events, but I think this deck was pretty good. It was obviously kind of crazy playing a card that people definitely don't immediately think is good, and obviously it has its weaknesses, but for me it worked out, and I felt like this deck has potential. Probably won't play it again because I don't like playing the same deck. People kind of know what I'm playing. I just like to switch it up, But if you want to try it out, by all means, you'll find that with these, and just the way the traps are, that your deck's is very resilient to removal from their side, and then you can, if you just are willing to play the long game and grind with them, flips, popping stuff, slowly summoning Caius, etc., you might find success as well. So yeah, that was the 9-0 Ultimate JD tournament, Machina Lightsworn with Phoenix Chain deck.